listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Trebor Soft Mints, bringing a softer, mintier feel to your Saturday morning.
Absolute Radio.
We've got cricket on the telly here in the studio.
Yeah, is that a good
Live.
idea? Is it going to turn into cricket commentary this show?
No, but if I suddenly go, oh, you know that we've lost a wicket. You know, this is the one time I watch television and I'm completely blown away by the whole concept of it, is when I watch Ashes cricket from Australia. I just think, hold on, I'm sitting in London, there's snow outside, and what's happening in Perth is in like a window in the corner of my room, live and in colour. Isn't that absolutely amazing?
Well, I'm glad you're so pleased.
Well, how can you be so blasé about it? How can that possibly be occurring? People are moving the other side of the planet, and I can see them in my house. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you sometimes think, what are they doing in Australia right now?
No, I don't think that.
Oh,
That's a
that.
stupid thing to think. What I'm thinking about is the technical. They're bouncing that off something in space so I can watch it. Come on. Let's just embrace the excitement of that. Anyway,
Get
this
excited.
morning...
There's no Stuart Broad.
No, well, he had that thing with his stomach.
Yeah.
Didn't like that much. Pulled a muscle in his stomach, and when you saw his stomach...
Oh, did he?
There was like a big bruise on it.
Oh, lovely.
Like the pulling of a muscle had broken some...
Lovely stomach, though. Anyway, as you were.
He had got a lovely stomach, I'll admit that. It was bronzed, obviously, by lying around in training in maybe just a crop top.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, he did. He looked lovely. I wouldn't have minded, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any kind of section, but I am a heterosexual.
Yeah.
But I saw his stomach, and I thought I wouldn't have minded just dragging an index finger down, just to feel the indentation of each six-pack segue. Do you know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't like to see that.
It's not, I'm not saying I'd be looking.
It's a strange
I'd
union.
probably do it with my eyes partially closed and going, And I don't mean that in any kind of sexual way. I think you can say sexual this time of the morning. Hold on. Oh, no, you can't. Anyway, you can text us about anything you like, except that, on 8 12 15. And not at 8 12 15. It's not like a Uri Geller thing where you all have to text me at the same time and I can make something catch fire. It's not like that. And our guest today is Al Murray.
Oh, I love him. He's one of our friends.
Also known as the pub landlord.
No, or Uncle Buck, that's what I call him.
Do you?
But that's
Why do you
another
call him
story.
that?
Because he reminds me of Uncle Buck, the character in some ways.
And when you were away, he was sent to look after us, and we had all sorts of adventures.
And he misbehaved.
Yeah.
Can I own up that I don't know who Uncle Buck is?
Oh,
From
Frank.
Candy Film.
Google it!
I will Google that. But, you know, I'm a bit busy at the moment. What with the cricket being on and stuff. So, I tell you what I did this week. I was out wandering. I walk a lot, as you may know, sometimes at great speed. And I passed the Wyndham's Theatre in Charing Cross Road in London, which is a large conurbation in the southeast of England, for those of you listening elsewhere. And who should be standing at the stage door but Bill Bailey?
Oh, yeah.
The musical comedy person. Was that what you'd call him?
Lovely hair.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. Okay, so, well, in the shade of the, you know that little lamp you have outside the stage door, there was a strong Wagner element to his appearance. But, you know, so he was doing that thing that people do after a show. They were signing autographs and having their photo taken. And I basically, I sort of hijacked it.
What do you mean?
Well, I went in and joined in and got on some photos.
You can't do that.
No, it did seem... I felt like, you know...
You can't do that.
You know when you see the tiny bird on the back of the rhino, just eating the mites, like that, and you think, oh, that enormous beast is there, and that tiny bird is living off it. I felt a bit like that for a few seconds.
You can't be an interloper, an autograph interloper.
No, not an antelope. No,
hippo, he said.
No, rhino, I said.
That's right.
Oh, I've mistaken the hippo and the rhino. See, I did that. I ordered what I thought was a rhino. And I only wanted it to hang a hat on. Of course, when the hippo turned up, there's the slightly sticky out ears, but it's nothing like the matted hair horn of the rhino. So I ended up just putting the hat on it like it was some sort of comical cartoon thing. Waste of money.
I do love that, Frank, though. When you're standing next to two famous people, that's actually a sentence in itself, I've just realised.
Yeah.
But when you're standing next to two famous people and one of them gets the autograph ask and the other one is loitering, waiting.
I know.
Oh, I love it.
I was walking through London once with David Baddiel. Oh, this was in his glory days when he was...
He's still in his glory
no, I know
days,
that, but I
come
mean
on.
in his big glory days. We've all had big glory days and now smaller glory days. And someone came up to me and they said, "Oh, right, have you got a pen?" And I said, "Yeah." And then I gave them the pen and they said to Dave, "Can I have your autograph, please?" Imagine.
Oh.
I just laughed it off. I went like that. With a small, just a tiny tear.
But you see, they had his autograph, but they had your pen. So, in a way.
Do you think they just wanted
Yeah.
my pen?
Yeah.
Like in the Sun today, you can win Matt Cardle's shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celebrity memorabilia.
If I had them, I'd use them for a wicked spell. We'll talk about Matt Cardle. I've got a theory about Matt Cardle.
Well, you've got a thing about him, is what you've got.
I've got a. My theory, just before I play the next track, is that Matt Cardle is evil to the core.
Frank on
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So, what was we talking? Oh yeah,
Matt Cardle.
We
said he was evil.
We're talking about. Well, I'll come to that. Okay. He'll keep. He'll still be evil by the time I get round to him. I don't have any doubts about that. I wouldn't be surprised if, as we speak about him, he's not digging a shallow grave on waste ground.
He's only got another 15 minutes, so we better hurry up.
I think he's got people to do that. I was talking about the stage door thing. So I'm thinking of touring round stage doors. If I tour around, say about 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, and then I can just get a piece for the people's autograph action.
Without having to do anything.
It's like a special guest. It's like being a supply teacher. So, me and Bill Bailey, me and whoever it is, Michael maybe Maggie Smith.
That would be good.
Yeah.
I like that. And you could just... What I like is you're just coming on at the end for the applause.
Yeah, well, and also, it looks like I'm just passing. Obviously, with Bill
Yeah.
Bailey, I was just passing, but that can be manufactured if necessary.
Oh, exactly.
How long do you wait? Do you wait for someone to call out for you, or do you just sort of hang around?
Well, on the night, I went over to say hello to him.
Right,
I did that thing of saying, "Is that
Good
Bill
plan.
Bailey off the telly?" I thought you'll look up now the voice. He didn't. So Bill Bailey, never quite sure. He's never quite there, Bill Bailey. You know what I mean? He's a slightly spaced out kind of a character.
Yeah.
So I thought, and people started to recognise me, but not quite as quickly as I wanted.
Oh,
them
you
to
with
do.
that famous friend stood next door. What were you doing then? Were you just talking loudly in Birmingham accent?
Well, I was famous friend in a way that Kenny Lynch used to be a famous friend to Jimmy Tarbuck. You know what I mean? I wasn't quite as... I felt they weren't as excited to see me. I was a supplement, is what I was. I was an addendum. Okay, so, so I might start. I don't know if I should tell you this.
That definitely means you should tell us.
No, it's difficult because I had a terrible incident outside a stage door. I was doing a play at what is now the Trafalgar Studios, what was then the Whitehall Theatre, home of the Whitehall Farce with Sir Brian Ricks, who, as you may know, I had a large argument with Tony Blair about.
Yeah. You said he was dead and Tony Blair said, "No, Frank."
Yeah, and Tony Blair was right on that occasion, I must say. He did say he'd be dead in 45 minutes, and he'd put the whole thing in a dossier. So, he was that the drummer with the monkeys? When I was in this play, I used to get picked up every night outside by a driver who'd drive me home, right? Mm-hmm. So, I got outside one night, and now this guy, we used to talk. He was a West Indian guy,
Yeah.
with the proper West Indian accent, and like you never hear anymore, apart from, as I was saying earlier, Michael Holding on that sort of
Oh, the cricketing guy.
yeah, there was a really bad delivery, that kind of fabulous deep. Anyway, so he was, and he always wore a lot of gold and that. He was a cool dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm losing my nerve now about this story. I got out one night, and the car was there, but he wasn't there. Well, it was a bit... I'd been inside for a while. I'd come out a bit late, so I thought, oh, no. So I had to walk... I thought maybe he's gone and walked up for a smoke or something. I walked up the road. I couldn't find... It was a real dingy, dark little side alley kind of place. And I thought, oh, this is really annoying. So I phoned up the phone company and I said, look, I don't know where he is. The car's here, but I can't find him anywhere. You know, I want to go home. I'm tired. You know, I really played the starry thing. So they said, OK, we'll phone him up. So they phoned... While they were phoning up, I went out, had another walk down, and turned out he was in the car asleep. And
Was he slumped, drunk?
No, he was no, but because it was very dark and he was very dark, I couldn't actually see him. So, I know. I mean, I felt terrible. He was lying like flat, but he wasn't hidden in any way. So,
I bet you still admonished him.
so the phone, no, because he said to me, "Oh, I don't get that." He says, "It says that you phoned up and said I wasn't in. I haven't left the car." Oh man, it was. I tried the mock faint. He didn't even notice. So I felt like I'd done something really wrong. Oh. Just telling that now has got... You know when you go into cringe mode, my shoulders have slightly come forward a bit, and I've gone fetal.
It suits you, though. You wear it well.
Yeah, I've always thought fetal was my position.
You found your look. It's strong.
Yeah, not everyone really ever finds that. What am I doing? Oh, I better do this.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Show me! I can never resist it. That's, Muse!
That's
With
horrible.
Said my throat a bit. I shouldn't have done that. With Uprising. That's what happened there.
Frank, we've had
Oh, sorry, I don't... See, never say Muse in a high voice.
we've had an a
You know that
text
old
in, well, an
saying,
email in actually.
What, on 8, 12, 15?
Yes, on 8:12, and this is from
Good.
Rachel Moffat. And this is a little bit of a Lonely Hearts thing going on here, Frank. You could be bringing...
See what music we got for this. No, maybe
Unless
not.
you were setting Charles Hawtrey up with Hattie Jakes, that's not going to work.
I think you'll find Charles Hawtrey was a homosexual. Nevertheless.
Well, everyone's
on.
turning this morning. You and Stuart Broad.
Yeah.
Fingers
Broad.
being run down strange chests.
Well, that's all right.
So listen, do you want to hear about Rachel Moffat?
Of course I do.
Last Saturday night, says Rachel, I was on the last train from Waterloo to Windsor.
She's not going to say she sat on a toffet, is she? She's not some elaborate hoax. So what was she on a train?
She was on a train coming back from a night out at the theatre with her parents when a tall, dark, handsome stranger sat down next to me. He started talking to my mother.
Oh, you shouldn't talk to strangers.
Asking her if she enjoyed War Horse. She was holding the programme. We ended up talking all the way back to Windsor. He was lovely. He works in Harrow, and to be honest, I was really bowled over by him and got quite tongue-tied.
Ooh.
Anyway, she really wants to try and get hold of this guy and meet him again. She says, my name is Rachel. I was the cute girl. I'm in my early 40s, but he told us he was 42, so I don't feel too bad. With red glasses and a brown bob, who admitted to going to see Meatloaf this week. Would he like to see me? Can you help by reading this out? Love, Rachel.
Well, does she mean Meatloaf the band? Or
Well,
was
I
it
hope so.
Some sort of exhibition of Meatloaf that she went to. So is he going to remember this? This tall, dark man gets on a train. You don't have that many conversations about War Horse. I don't know about you. I've probably had 3 in my whole life.
Waterloo to Windsor.
I'm liking that. That if this did build into a massive love affair,
I'll be amazing.
or even if they met and it resulted in some terrible murder, as a film title, Waterloo to Windsor is good, isn't it? I'm liking that.
Or if it doesn't work out between them, I think he sounds quite nice. I'm just saying.
Oh, come on. You're not going to jump. Give Rachel first dibs.
Oh, says the autograph stealer.
Yeah, well, anyway. So, yes. Well, if you're listening, mate, you're 42 and
Yeah.
tall and handsome and good
Rachel
looking.
sounds lovely.
How's she
Go
going
for it.
to get in touch?
Through us, Frank, that's the point.
Okay. I thought he was going to read a number out.
No.
So there you go. That's our Lonely Heart section. Yay. What else? Oh, I tell you, I made an error. I can only put it down as an error. I bought a small gift, a tote. I don't buy presents, as you may recall.
Yeah, we noticed.
Okay, so I mean, it's not at all Christmassy here, though, is it? Absolute.
Where's the tree?
No
They're cutting
tree,
back.
No tree, no trimmings.
Cutbacks.
Yeah, it could be that, actually.
I think they've peeled off
Oh,
the
there is a
wallpaper to sell it.
There's a tiny bit of absolute purple.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know if you know the logo, but purple is the big colour here. It's basically Absolute Radio and the Pope.
It's like a
But
purple.
stick with purple as a main thing.
It's a purple tinsel. It's sort of like a feather boa. I think that might have been left over from a Ben Jones lap dance.
Oh, you can't possibly say it. You mean him doing it, or
Well,
is
it
he?
okay. happened, yeah.
Can we say that Ben Jones, a happily married man, would never
Yeah.
do such a thing? And he's not in this morning either. So there. Who's replacing Ben Jones? Lucio will be on after. Someone to look forward to. Okay. Yeah, anyway, so I thought I'd buy a present for a friend's daughter, and I was sure in my mind that she was 8. I had it in my... she's 8.
Right.
So I bought her Chris Cress's Secret Seed Club, which is a little book with some pictures of Chris Cress, who is essentially Cress. He consists of Cress,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh.
And, you know Cress that used to get in a tray?
Yes, I do. I just don't think it's a very nice hero for a book.
Well, I wouldn't call him a hero, I'll call him a protagonist. Anyway, Chris Cress is a member of the Secret Seed Club, and the book comes with a collection of seeds. So
Wait, if this seed club is a secret, the fact he's called Chris Cress gives some of the secret away, I think. Of
The clues in his surname.
what sort of seeds are involved with this guy?
No, but the whole club is a secret.
Oh,
if
right.
you met Chris Cress on a train on your way from Waterloo to Windsor, I mean, you'd notice, because he'd be in a sort of cheap, dark plastic tray. And also he'd have those black bits in that Cress always had, which I've never completely identified.
Also, Frank, a lot of dirt on the bottom of his shoes.
Yes.
A lot of dirt.
Yes.
Earthy.
Yes. Oh, yes. And anyway, so I bought this for the 8-year-old daughter. I thought that'd be lovely because she'll be able to read the book, look at the pictures, and also plant the seeds.
Oh, it comes with seeds.
Yeah, it comes with a packet of seeds. I mean, how often? It's like, say if I bought... What if you could buy, like, say if Emily, I bought you Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and there was actually some body parts, and maybe some sort of electrical rig, and you could set up, you know, you could
I'd love it.
reanimate a corpse.
I'd love
you know,
it.
it was like it's that on a smaller version.
Craft.
Anyway, it turns out she was 12.
Oh, she's not going to like Chris Cress.
she wasn't.
Her Chris days are over.
No, she's, you know. Apparently, so her mum said she wears a bra now, for God's sake.
She's not going to like Chris Cress then.
Well, not unless she grows cress in it. She could hang. You could have a double helping. If you split Chris Cress, you could have one in each cup, hanging up somewhere ornamental. Anyway, I felt she was a bit affronted that I'd got her age mixed up. So anyway, what I'm...
She just thinks you're a bit of a loser. She's not affronted.
Well, it didn't go very well. I thought, you know, the years... It's only 4 years, but, you know, from 8 to 12 is a big... It's a big move. So...
I'm glad you're aware of that.
Yeah, so what we thought
That's worried
is
me.
we could maybe have a texting on 8, 12, 15 about inappropriate presents that you've received, you see.
Yeah.
You see, I've dragged it
given.
all... Pardon?
Or given.
Yeah. Or gibbons. Exactly. If anyone's ever given you an inappropriate gibbon, because a normal, relaxed gibbon can be a lovely thing to cradle. I find that the red bomb will just sit into the palm. But sometimes the inappropriate gibbons, those ones that are buck-teethed and hostile,
Yeah.
who wants one of them in the house? I had to kill one by shutting its neck in a door once. Yeah, I'm not proud of that.
This is Frank Skinner
Absolute.
Radio.
Frank, a couple of very exciting things happened whilst you were playing that song. Firstly, I discovered a cricketer that's rather hot called Mitchell Johnson.
Oh, please don't like Mitchell Johnson.
I can't help it.
No, he's the scourge of the team at the moment.
Oh,
by the
well,
way.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
He
for
plays for
anyone
the
who's
other side.
interested.
He fills my
He
needs.
does. He bats for the other side.
We've also had a
By
text
the way,
in.
England are 39 for 2, for those of you who care.
Oh, Mitchell. We also had a text in on 8, 12, 15
cricket show.
from Amanda in Australia saying, is it cold? Frank has got more clothes on than a man who lives on the streets. Betty has his thermals on too. Come on, Frank, spill.
I like the idea of a man who lives on the streets. So are there no homeless in Australia? They have to come up with some sort of description. You know, like a man who lives on the street. Well, yes, I have got a lot of clothes on. It's, you know, it's not that cold, actually, is it? I think I might have a bit of a something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Frank, we also had a text in from Mick in Greenford about an inappropriate gift. Hi Frank, a few years ago, one of my aunties gave me a blank VHS videotape for Christmas.
I used to get them, definitely.
Well, in a way, that's like a book token, isn't it?
What?
You know, so you can choose the ultimate content.
He does say a few years ago, though,
Yeah.
by which point I think videos would have been phased out largely.
I miss the old fiver in the card, and the pound note in the card.
Oh, I
when
love
was
that.
Oh,
Me and my sister used to do. We used to go that with a letter opener. We had letter openers in our house.
Yeah.
We tear across it, wiggle it, nothing came out in the bin.
You're joking.
No, I'm not doing.
You didn't take the cards out?
No, we want the hard cash.
Oh, that's so bad. Anyway, yes, Matt Cardle. Now, I don't know, I haven't seen this referred to anywhere, but I was watching the X Factor final, and after Matt Cardle won, it was just going to go to one of the bits where they do an interview or he does a song or something. But so I think Dermot was centre stage. But in the background, you could see Matt Cardle, and what he did, he was talking to someone in the audience, and he held his tongue between his thumb and forefinger, held his tongue aggressively, and then he pointed at them in a kind
Did
of a
he?
hold your tongue. And honestly, you could see the sort of Essex gangster in him immediately. He looked like a really scary, violent, aggressive, unpleasant man.
Oh dear,
Yeah.
you've gone right off him.
I know, yeah. I mean, what else could that mean, hold your tongue, you know?
Well, there was also some whispering going on with One Direction, which we won't go into
No, we won't.
at this
Can't
time of the
talk about
morning,
that,
but it
no.
wasn't very seemly.
Yeah, about they hold their tongue. Anyway, so... Yeah, Matt, I suppose there might have been a pretty girl, and he might have said, you know, afterwards, I'm going to hold your tongue by the forefinger and thumb and raise it slightly and just lick that, you know, that piece of skin that keeps the tongue joined to the bottom of the mouth. You might say,
Yeah.
I'm just going to
Uvolve,
lick
I
that
would
and
say.
see if I can get some sort of sound out of it, like one, if you were plucking a string on a double bass, he might have been. But I mean, it's a lot to get into a gesture. I think he was being unpleasant. So I'm not.
I don't warm to him, Frank, anyway,
No.
that Cardle.
He also said that something about his book's coming out. Did you know
His
that?
book?
Yeah, that's what they do. They don't just get a single; they get a book.
I read an extract of it in a paper.
Good?
I don't
No,
think
Frank was
it
just saying good.
Oh,
No, I want your critique.
I thought he held back on some details. I don't think it was as in depth as I would have liked.
No, perhaps he just has nothing to say.
No, that's true.
Well, and also I didn't like that bit on the, you know, the sort of strange people gala they have when the sort of
Britain's
the
Got Talent.
you know, no, but you know the troubled.
Oh, yes, and
people.
they have all the sex workers and the mentally unwell coming out.
Yeah, the troubled
Yes.
people, and they all come
Britain's
out.
Got Talent.
And Dan. No, this was on X Factor.
Oh, right.
They have a little special. They have a sort of. I nearly said it. they have a strange people gala when that.
Strange people.
Yeah, and it's like. Have you ever? Are you aware of the Marat Sard?
Oh, yes,
When,
yeah.
when the Marquis de Sade used the inmates of an asylum to stage the death of Marat, right, which is a play, obviously. It was like that. If the Elephant Man was alive today, I honestly think he'd be a regular on the X Factor. It's gone that way. Do you know what I'm saying?
I am always surprised by how good that bit is. I think, they were good in that. Not better than they were in the.
You'd have been
Auditions.
first in the queue when the Elephant Man Road show came to town. You'd have been there, bearded lady and all that. Yeah. No, I didn't like.
I just
those.
think also that Matt Cardle, he looks like he works in a garden centre with that cap and beard. I can't bear him.
Yeah, he tells people he works at a garden centre to explain the soil on his shoes first thing in the morning. Okay?
This is Frank Skinner
Absolute.
Radio.
Go on!
Oh, Shane Warne in the commentary box, talking of go on.
Yeah, exactly. So, more of that.
Cricket, is it all we talk about?
Sorry, it is on the telly.
Yeah, sorry.
Frank, there's a text in from Rachel about an inappropriate gift. Always had an inkling my step-grandmother didn't like me. This was confirmed one Xmas. She bought me a 2-litre bottle of cider. I was 7 months pregnant.
I suppose it'll keep, though. Could be wet the
Exactly.
baby's head with a 2 gallon. 2 gallon?
2 litre.
Oh, 2 litre, yeah. 2 gallon bottle of cider.
No, that was
would
your
have been
family.
good. Yeah. How dare you say that? And then they'd have put coins in it after on the pub bar. So, anyway, Ethan update time. Ethan. We need an Ethan update jingle.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on, I'll see if I can put one together. Ethan update, Ethan update, Ethan update, yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah.
very bad Ringo
Ethan update,
Star
yeah.
track.
Didn't quite my timing.
Creepy, like a creepy.
No,
Christmas
you're
elf.
all right.
Yeah. Creepy Christmas elf, ooh, creepy Christmas elf, ooh, he's playing with himself.
Ah, it's disgusting.
Creepy Christmas elf.
Oh,
Okay, anyway. So, yes.
Frank's album of improvised jingles will be coming out in the new year.
Yes, I'll be coming out in the new year. That's my resolution. Sorted. Go on, anyway, Ethan update. Ethan, by the way, is Gareth's child, in case you don't know.
He's not been well this week. He's been a bit poorly.
Oh, dear.
Oh, he's often poorly.
I anticipated this being up, sort of children at Christmas type of section.
yeah.
It's all gone a bit Tiny Tim.
No, it's not good. He's had he's got a cough, and the nursery said...
Is he hooping?
No, I don't think he's hooping.
Oh, well, that's something.
But the nursery said he's got conjunctivitis, and we need to take him to get looked at. So we took him to the doctors, which was a bit of an ordeal because Laura went to the loo and she said,
Laura is Ethan's
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah.
No, not Ethan's wife.
She's not Ethan's wife. She's Gareth's wife.
I'll draw you a diagram.
Right, sorry,
Not that complicated.
It's country people, you never know what's going on.
Gareth.
No, Gareth's put together a small family tree. Very helpful.
Laura got very angry.
She's your
because-
wife?
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay, carry on.
We were in the doctors, and Laura went to the loo, and she just said, "Oh, if they let you in, just let them know." And I went in, and she got locked out, and they wouldn't let her in. They're terrible at our surgery. Anyway, we got some cream,
I'm loving this so far.
and we got some cream.
They're terrible at our surgery.
We got some cream to put in his eyes, and eat that.
You got some cream to put in his eyes?
Yeah, put special cream in
that
his
sounds
eyes.
cruel.
Conjunctivitis.
Well, they said you can get drops or cream, and she said the cream would be easier. I don't think so. I think drops would be
of
easier.
course.
So putting he's
Oh,
18
cream.
months. He's 18 months old and he does not like it. It is quite an
Who
ordeal.
likes cream in their eyes?
No one.
Who's that bloke who just raised his hand in the next room?
That was Al Murray.
Oh, no, he doesn't like cream in his eyes. Maybe Harvey's Bristol cream.
To put the cream in, I have to put him on the floor, sit on him,
What?
pin down his arms, because otherwise he'll...
Hold on, is this some
I don't
story you've
believe
come
it.
up with because social services made
No,
a
it's
impromptu
true.
visit? You had to explain why you were kneeling on your 18-month-old son's
Yeah,
chest,
I don't believe
putting
it.
cream in his eyes.
I don't believe you.
It's
No.
true, and I've put and then prise open his eyelids.
Oh, goodness,
'Cause
what with a
he-
match? Yeah?
That's not a good idea, because then you could keep him open once.
Sorry,
you
it's
open
your
him up.
doctor from 1973.
No,
And then
it's
you had
like
to
he really
bleed
doesn't
him with
like it.
leeches.
He's been
Dear
saying some
me.
He said, "No, Daddy, no."
I hate
It's
it when
not
they say
something-
that.
Not something you
Not
ever want to
something
hear.
you want to
No,
hear.
that's terrible.
And he
It
says,
reminds me when I added the Shep's anal glands. That's a true story.
That's not the
old-
tapeworm. Don't tell me the tapeworm story, makes me feel
Okay,
sick.
okay, I won't tell you that. Doesn't really work. Without the mime, it
No.
doesn't really work.
And after I've done the first eye, he says, "All done, all done."
Oh, we're trying to get away with one eye. Oh, that's even worse.
Oh, the poignancy of the scene.
It's really
Yeah.
sad.
Was there?
Well,
was there a little one-bar
really
heater
Is
as
there a
well?
happy ending to this? There's no happy ending.
I think he's a bit better.
His
hopefully.
conjunctivitis has gone.
Yeah, Laura did it while he's asleep. It's a good idea, isn't it?
Well, I enjoyed it. I don't know. I think it had a bit of everything, you know. A bit of 18th century medicine, family life.
Christmas pathos.
Yeah, Christmas pathos. My favourite musketeer.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, the softest, mintiest show in town. Sponsored by Treebor Soft Mints.
Absolute Radio.
You can text us on 81250. Oh, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I mean,
Hello.
we'll have to do all the paperwork. Oh, no, we're not starting again. Calm down. You can text us on 81215, and our guest today is Al Murray, which is fabulous news, and he'll be along.
He's a
very
proper
soon.
friend of the show.
He is. Well, I mean, he's presented. He's sat in
Yeah.
this very. Did he
gonna-
sit in this chair?
Oh, look, I don't want to go through. That's very male of you to say what happened exactly.
in my chair? Oh God, that was loud. I had a
Sorry.
sign come up that said too
I
loud.
moved
There.
away slightly.
People at home. Did you?
Did my best.
Well, there'll be bleeding ears.
Let's just
at
say
home.
we had a special relationship with Al and leave it at that.
Yeah, like Clinton and Blair. Okay, lovely. So,
I had a bit of an incident actually this week, Frank. Well, I've always got some sort of an incident, as you know, as you well know.
I don't think a week's ever passed when you haven't had an incident.
But this was a social situation which was a little bit awkward, as the youth say.
Can I eat a banana while you're...
It's a little bit rude, but I'll let it go.
Well, a banana is always a little bit rude. I'm doing the Dave Gorman thing of opening, not the end with the handle on. You know, the sticky out, but the other bit, much better.
There you go.
That was me. That sound effect, in case you could hear it, was... Go, carry on.
Al wouldn't do that. So anyway, what are you doing now, Gareth?
Sorry, I dropped some chocolate money wrappers.
Oh my God, I feel like kindergarten cop with you two. Right, do you want to hear my story?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, this girl, it was an InStyle, it was at a work do. She didn't actually work for InStyle, she was in the sort of
Emily,
publishing
by the way,
empire.
is the deputy editor. Are you an editor or an editress?
Deputy editor. So, but I know her. You know, I've known her over the last year. I've said hello and I've seen her in the corridor, etc. Anyway, we're talking and she suddenly says, "Well, that's it, Lindsay."
Oh.
I went, "Oh my God, she's called me Lindsay."
She was talking to you.
Yes!
Oh.
No, she's talking to Lindsay
Thought
Wagner.
Robert Lindsay might be there.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't call him by his surname. He's a respected actor. I imagine he'd throw a bit of a hissy fit if you called him Lindsay.
He seems a type.
Yeah,
So
he
then,
does.
Frank, I had the awful thing of kept trying to drop my name in because I thought, no, she wasn't biting. She kept going, "Bye, Lindsay."
How did you drop your name in, incidentally?
I just kept saying, "Well," and they said Emily. They said Emily.
Did you? I'd very much like to have seen that in action.
But the thing is, now I'm Lindsay. I'm committed. I've accepted that that's my name. So I've got. What am I going to do?
No, that is...
No idea, Lindsay.
yeah. Shall we go with it all the time and just call that thing? Did you consider saying
That's not my name.
at any point?
No, because she didn't call me Mary Jo Lisa, fortunately.
Oh, it's a pity she didn't call you that.
But it got ugly.
Yeah, well, it's... but correct me if I'm wrong. Are you not related in some way to Lindsay de Paul, the 70s?
Oh, she's my godmother, that's true.
You don't think that you've picked up some of her mannerisms and subliminally... You haven't got a large beauty spot, I feel, I don't know about, that you cover up.
No, but I
here.
might have some other mannerisms of hers.
Yeah.
Frank, I need to say something to you, actually, because I've had a text in which I really want to... you have to hear this because you'll love it. It's about the Fall. It's from Catherine, who's in Australia. "Dear Frank, I've become a Fall fan because of your show, but thought that because I live in Australia, I would never be able to experience them live. However, last night, I think this might have been last week, they played their first show in Melbourne for 20 years, which is my entire lifetime, and I was lucky enough to witness one of the greatest gigs I've ever seen. Thank you, Frank,
I'm
for
getting
introducing me to the genius that is Marquis Smith. Love, Catherine."
I'm actually getting tingly about that. Thank you for that. I didn't think there'd be much good news from Australia this morning, but that is 51 for 2. That is... that's brilliant.
We only have this extra. This is Frank Skinner
Absolute.
Radio.
Al Murray has joined us in the studio.
Morning.
Good morning. I don't think it's too early to say Merry Christmas.
No, it isn't. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I feel like walking around London shouting that.
I wish you
and
would.
handing out pennies.
Yeah, that'd
You
be-
were last
to
night,
boys.
I hear.
Yeah, oh my God, last night, yeah.
Why?
I fell over in the street in the snow. With proper cartoon legs, I did that.
Oh, did you do that?
Bam! On my bum. And I
was
hurt
it-
my elbow, actually. I noticed this. I woke up with a tender
You landed
elbow.
on your bum and your elbow.
Yeah.
You don't know you from your anyway. So was it alcohol based or ice based?
It was a lethal cocktail of ice and booze.
yeah, at least it takes the sting out of it.
Yeah,
once-
it did.
once you're down.
It didn't hurt at the time. It was just sort of shocking. And I was on the phone talking to someone and went, well, plonk.
Well, that would explain the elbow. 'Cause
Yeah.
you'd have had it cocked.
Yes, I did. If my elbow was cocked. Yeah, but I said, I've just fallen over, by the way. And
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just carried on
You
talking
cool
while...
dude. Yeah, I'm loving it. I've just fallen over. I can't remember the last time I fell over on the South Bank. Fell down some steps.
Ooh.
But
How many? That's a long staircase.
No, it's only about 4 steps. But this is absolutely true. Someone phoned me a couple of days later and said, "I heard you fell over. Are you all right?" And I thought, I am of that age now. I'm not people. Anyway, so you're all right though with the bad weather because I've watched you recently driving around Germany in terrible weather.
In Deutschland, yeah, in February, yeah. That was filming the German thing. Where they had the worst winter they'd had in 25 years when we were there, and it was a foot and a half of snow would fall every night.
Was there not a panic when you got there? Because some of the driving you do is on roads, and I think that they don't look that safe.
The first couple of days were quite hairy. When we were up in Hamburg and a place called Heiligendamm on the Baltic coast, that was pretty scary actually.
Yeah.
But to be honest, after the first couple of days, there wasn't a problem at all. And they never ran out of grit or any of those things. In fact, we were in Leipzig 2 weeks into the trip, and some minister ended up on the TV saying there is loads of grit left on Vi. Like that, obviously. And the country didn't grind to a halt or anything. It's quite interesting.
And we're talking about Al Murray's German Adventure, which is obviously no point in plugging it now.
No, it's been on.
You could watch it on BBC iPlayer.
Yeah, it's on
Can I
iPlayer.
say, in all sincerity, I absolutely loved it.
Oh, thank you.
It was brilliant.
Thank you very much.
And as you so rightly say, it's not often anyone really sings the praises of Germany, but it's brilliant and funny and interesting. I'll tell you what was interesting about you really were rat-tat-tatting out the information.
Yeah.
I felt like you'd got more information than you had time for.
Oh,
so
no, that was
blasting us with facts.
That was absolutely true. Is that we had to cram so much into it to try and make the point of that the place is enormous and has loads going on in it, and always has done. We had to really cram stuff in. Some of the pieces of the camera, I was talking probably as fast as I could and bunging all the.
But it was
information.
great,
yeah,
because I really felt like I was being informed.
Oh, good.
In a big way.
Oh, that's a relief.
There was one major disappointment for me. It was
Right,
very
it the
near.
bit in the spa.
No, I thought you looked quite well. No, in that
Does Al
temperature.
get his bits out?
No, yeah, it was really, really funny. We went to this
It was very
film,
cold.
and we had to, the crew had to, the male crew had to be naked as well, and it was really funny.
Really?
Yeah. And
Who made that rule?
The female producer.
The spa. Well, funny enough, the director, she'd call action. I'd come around the corner, and I'd see her call action, and then she'd put a clipboard over her face. It was so sweet. And she'd go action, and I'd come around the corner, and she'd be hiding. God bless her.
No, I didn't mean that bit.
Oh right. Oh, well.
In fact, I might do one of those teasers and tell you which bit after this.
Oh.
What about that for a bit of a professional radio? Have I been drinking out of Ben Jones's mug?
Ben Jones. Whoops.
Only have this extra. This is Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Now, the thing that
Yes.
the thing that I was upset about in the German show was that I noticed you went for the luggage with wheels. And
Yeah.
one of my pet hates is the suitcase with the wheels.
Really?
Really?
A big man like you can carry a nice big suitcase.
Look, there's no need to though, Frank. Now the wheel has
Exactly.
been invented.
But those people, well, they hung around for quite a while before they put them on a suitcase.
Yeah,
to be
well,
fair.
yes, but now it's happened. You can't. You're trying to uninvent the wheeled suitcase.
I'd love to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Why don't
Is
you
that
like
it?
them,
So you hop
Frank?
in a time machine and the bloke who's about to make the breakthrough, you nudge him in front of a tube train to make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah, so well, that's if we have tube trains. I haven't decided yet. I might nip that as well. But if I went back and they said you can change any one thing, that's what
That's
it would
it.
be. The
Not
wheeled
kill Hitler.
suitcase. No.
Why don't you like
I don't
them?
think I'd kill another human being, even Hitler.
Frank, you
Unless I got there and he had some
Wheeled
evil
suitcase.
right-wing plans in a wheeled suitcase. I'd have to take him right out.
You've got that wrong. They're very chic because models use them.
I tell you what they do. People forget they've got them and they walk across your path and they forget that they've got this trailing luggage. Don't.
The one I have, yes, I do have a wheeled suitcase. Yes,
I saw it. I saw
But
it.
the other one I haven't got is the one that has the free-flowing coasters that if you stand on a slope just goes off on its own.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, they're because I tend to stand and forget about my luggage and it would just roll downhill.
You
No.
might want to watch that at international
Yeah,
airports.
exactly. Yeah.
You could have some sort of thing on it so it homed into lost property. If you left it anywhere before someone put it in a bucket of water. I'm just thinking. Ali is obviously on to plug some product, but he's during that song he actually plugged some product that no one expected. Because regular listeners will know that I did a show with Barry Norman last week, and the film critic extraordinaire, and he told me that he had his own range of pickled onions, which I've never tried. But Al,
They are fantastic.
Yeah.
that's going to be on the jar.
They are just the most amazing
A picture
onions
of
ever.
you with probably your face superimposed on a pickled onion.
I'll take it. I'll take that. Yeah, they are so delicious, and they're crunchy, and they're pickly. And they're really...
Well, he told me the recipe had been in the family since the 19th century.
Yeah,
vinegar and onions.
No, look.
Great recipe.
You get a jar. We're going to have to get a jar and do a crunchy on air.
I imagine you doing a sort of Boston blood vessel, eat them all and drink the vinegar type of thing.
I don't do that, no.
Do you not?
Imagine that if you will.
I think of you as a very male... Although you're highly educated, I think you're just one of the most male people I know.
He's a bit of a caveman, as Liz Hurley said to Shane.
Yes, yes, he's got that. He's got that allure, the caveman.
What, really?
The caveman with the degree in history. It's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so not a caveman.
When was the wheel invented?
No one knows.
Ah, well, see...
So I'm prepared
Did you
to
have
say
that
I don't
week
know.
off?
Yeah. It's not my period.
So, so look, you have a quiz book
Yes.
and a quiz DVD.
Well, no, there's the live DVD of the touring show I've just done, and then the quiz book is the Pub Landlord's Great British Quiz Book.
But there's like there is an interactive type. Technological.
Well, yeah, no. There's an iPad app, I think.
Oh, yeah, the iPad.
But we did a show in Edinburgh that was the quiz. I did a show in Edinburgh this year to do something different, and with a frozen chicken to the win. I think
I went.
The divine Miss M joined us.
I did, yeah.
Any luck with the poultry?
How did we do this? I can't remember. We didn't win. We came. We were placed though somewhere.
Did you? Yeah. Well, everyone was placed. That's how it worked. the losing team were jeered at and everything. So,
And you actually gave away a frozen
chicken to the winner, sausages to the runners up.
Yeah.
Because it was Scotland, it was a loaf of sausage meat, which is just fantastic.
Oh, of course.
14 slices.
Yeah, my team won that.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah, that's right.
Did you? Did you go as well?
Yeah.
I didn't know you got tickets. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, Al. I thought you just invited me.
So the whole thing's profoundly meat-based.
So, yeah, well, yeah, you know, but because I like it that the prize was essentially not brilliant and that people were playing for glory.
Well, my brother used to do a lot of angling. And he used to win a great many electric blankets. It seemed to me it was he could have done the whole garden over in them in the cold weather. If we could have had like, over soil heating. No, that was the default prize.
Was an electric blanket?
If you won an angling competition.
Oh, we might bung that in because we're taking it back to Edinburgh. We're going to do it again in Edinburgh next year, but it's going to be a Christmas special every day because we like Christmas. And I'm going to make Mark, who I work with, dress as
In
an
August.
elf. Yeah,
Brilliant.
Creepy little elf.
Not
he
the
can
creepy
be.
little.
No, he's a great big oversized elf.
This is Frank Skinner.
Absolute
Radio.
Al Murray is with us today. Now let me get this clear, Al. You have a quiz book out.
Yes, there's a book, a
Yes.
quiz book,
There's
and then
an
an app for the quiz book, and then there's a live DVD of the show I've just toured. I've just finished touring.
And that's Barrel of...
That's Barrel of Fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that is the pub landlord.
Yes, the pub landlord doing his thing.
Now, when you speak of the pub landlord, because I saw Barry Humphries interview the other day, and he spoke about Dame Edna absolutely in the third person.
Yeah,
As if
he
it
does
was
that,
As if
yeah.
it was a different person he didn't know that well.
Yeah, but apparently when you work with him, he comes back down as Dame Edna, and you have to say, well, we talked to Mr. Humphries earlier about what we were going to do, what you were going to do, and he does that.
Really?
He does it completely rigidly like that as well. He's taken it that whole extra level.
I wonder what he'd do if you challenged that. If he had the Dame Edna and you said, "So Barry, what?" I wonder.
He'd ignore you. Apparently, he ignores you.
But
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think it's really. Oh, but I'm nowhere near that disciplined. So I kind of sometimes I say, well, I say this, or I say he says that. I get confused.
But do you have a version now? Do you know when you're him?
Oh, yeah,
Is
yeah.
it the maroon blazer
It's
when
the
that
blazer,
goes
it's the
on?
jewellery actually when the jewellery goes on, and I haven't worn it lately, but I normally end up with these green marks on my fingers from the cheap jewellery.
The cheapness
the
of the
stuff
jewels.
coming off. The green, the whatever it is.
Yeah.
The zinc or something.
See,
Yeah.
Al actually wears a pinky ring, which is very posh because he's very posh, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's said in Laverne and Shirley that it never trust a man in a pinky ring.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's where I take my philosophy from.
The greatest philosophers
You
of the
can keep
20th
your
century.
Nietzsche. Yeah, that's what they said. Don't quote me on that. So, you as I mentioned, you're an Oxford graduate.
Yes.
Now, I've always imagined that being at Oxford would be a really fabulous thing. I imagine it's just learning and people being clever and bright and like a special secret world of knowledge. Have I built it up to something grand?
Well, it was if you wanted it to be. When I went, you didn't have to go to anything if you didn't want to. It was literally you could take exactly what you wanted from it. So I didn't go to any lectures for like a year.
No.
Because you didn't have to. There was no... And we had one tutorial a week, and he'd give you a reading list, and then you'd just be set off, no teaching, nothing. And so it kind of was if you wanted it to be, but it also wasn't if you didn't. So
But were you working meanwhile, or were you just swanning
to be honest,
around?
I did a fair deal of swanning, eating crisps, watching Neighbours. But it was an amazing place because it was full of really, really, really clever people.
Yeah.
And really incredibly clever people. And you'd sort of
They
think,
were quite clever,
yeah,
weren't
you'd
they?
sort of think, God, blimey, these people are really clever. Well, you know, but that
get
wouldn't
the
lead
picture.
you. But it wouldn't lead you to think, so I must be too. You'd think these people
Yeah.
are really, really smart. Wow. And that was stimulating. But to be honest, I'd been at boarding school for like 9-10 years, and I was kind of done with being made to study. So I went a bit mental the first year. In all honesty.
Okay.
It was good fun though, and I met Stuart Lee was there, and Richard Herring, and Armando Iannucci was just finishing up there, and so there was a whole bunch of really amazing comedy people there.
Yeah.
Which is how I got into being a stand-up.
But you did work hard eventually. For any young children who are listening.
Well, yeah.
Al Murray's
Don't
not saying
squander
don't
it.
work
No,
hard at your
don't,
studies.
yeah. No, well, I worked terribly hard to get there. That was the other thing. Is I worked really hard to get in, and then once I was in, I thought, well, you know, they're not going to kick me out, are they?
But they do, don't they?
They do, yes.
But they didn't, did they?
No, they didn't. No, I stayed the course. But the thing is the dons there were really the tutors were really otherworldly, and some of them were brilliant at teaching, and some of them simply weren't. The one guy had a room at the top of a church tower. So our college library was a church that had been converted, and he had an office at the top in what would have been the belfry, in a sort of high ceiling room which was lined with books.
How brilliant!
And it was really brilliant. You go up a spiral staircase, but he'd do his tutorials at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning.
Did he have a hump back?
Huh?
Did he have a hump back?
He should have done. He did have an extravagant comb over, which I think is a kind of an equivalent.
Okay. What a great!
But
place
he'd
to
do
be.
this thing halfway through. You'd be reading an essay, and he'd stop you and go, "I think I need to stop you there." And he'd reach behind him and pull a book out from behind his bag and go fap and open it on page 358 and read you this thing and go, "Had you not considered this factor?" And you go, "No." And then he'd shut the book and put it back behind him.
How brilliant!
Yeah, it's really brilliant.
Didn't
But
even look.
He came unstuck because he was a Cold War expert. He was an expert on the Iron Curtain and on the East Germany and all that. And I was at uni in '89, you know, when the Berlin Wall came down, and he was writing a book about how the Eastern Bloc, the Berlin Wall, the Cold War, it was good for another generation. That the whole thing was going to stick around and they're never going to come apart. And then, of course, the Berlin Wall fell, and his light was on all night, every night. And so obviously he was rewriting this thing. And he'd gone from being a current affairs expert to a historian, literally overnight. It was brilliant. It was really, really fun.
Trucks with Tipex on.
Yeah, that's right.
Arriving. Oh dear. I'm loving the idea of the man living in the tower, though. It's a classic sort of ivory tower.
It was, yeah, it really was. And it was one of those things you think, come off it, this is ridiculous. You know, this can't possibly be real. And it really was happening, and it makes, in lots of ways, it used to make defending Oxford quite difficult because people go, "Oh, you know, it's all la-di-da and it's all church towers and ancient buildings and privilege and mad professors." You go, "No, it isn't. It isn't. We're just normal students like everyone else." And then you find yourself in the belfry with this bloke. I think you're fine. Have you considered what was happening at the Chinese embassy at the time? You go, "No."
Oh, where is it? If you're listening, sir, give us
Mr.
a text.
H.P.P. Dunbabin. That was his name.
What was
It's
he
just
called?
come to me. H.P.P. Dunbabin.
Yes.
Great name.
Dunbabin.
Frank,
That's what his house is called.
there's been a text in for Al just from Alexander Wright saying, "I loved Al Murray's German Adventure.
Oh.
I lived in Hamburg for a year, and they love the English to the extent that they sell Winston Churchill tea bags."
They do, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Are they shaped like him?
Ask the historian.
Yeah, he's just on the box.
No,
He's on the box.
it's like let down. Okay, well, look, it's been great as ever talking to you, Al.
It's always a pleasure. I did have such fun sitting in for you as well.
I'm sure Absolute can find you a space.
Well, I don't want to elbow anyone aside, Frank.
No, but there are people here who they're at the end of the plank. Let's put it that way.
How dare you?
No, I don't mean in here. I've been told, that's the word on the street. I'm not one to gossip, as you may know. So that's this week's phone in. Who should be removed from Absolute Radio to make way for Al Murray?
Well, they're flooding in.
Don't tell me if it says me. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, do come and join us in our stable.
I would love to.
That's a good Christmassy ending.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
What's that? Sounds
Four
like Marquis
wickets.
Smith.
4 wickets gone.
Oh, but it's that lovely Mitchell.
Don't start.
Frank, we had a text in from Pete in London. Hi, F-E-N-G. I normally listen to the podcast, and when you just went to the travel, it was a surreal experience. I didn't really believe you did the radio-y bits.
Oh, well.
Loving it, though.
Yeah, that is my most radio-y bit when I say, and now it's over to Sandy War. Sandy War's probably listening to that going, oh, God, it's me again. No, it is... yes, that's my most professional bit. I'm waiting
I'd
for
agree with that.
moment when, one of the royals goes down and I get to
Frank.
make the announcement.
That would be awful if you announced
The
it.
news. We haven't had a news. Do they still have news flashes?
Oh, yeah. Well,
No,
the thing
they
is...
don't. When did you last see a news flash on the telly?
Well, it was
Well,
probably...
nothing much has happened recently, is it?
They don't do it anymore. I tell you, when I was a kid, it was a big thing. The news flash. We interrupt this programme to bring you. When's the last time that happened?
When you were a kid, the telly was a big thing, like.
Well, no, it was a very small thing. We had a 9-inch black and white. Or was that the West Highland Terrier we had? Anyway, no. What happened to the news flash? That's what I want. That's your homework for the Christmas period,
There's-
our regular listeners. What on earth? Happened to this guy?
Newsflash, we've interrupted.
That's what happened to it. Is that people can't speak anymore. Anyway, but I should say, by the way, this is our last live show of 2010, and that on Christmas Day, which is next Saturday, it's a 4-hour best of show, which means it's the best of our show for 4 hours. And
4 hours?
4 hours of it, yeah. There'll be music and there'll be travel galore. Not that anyone really travels on Christmas Day. So that'll be at 10
Travellers
o'clock.
do.
But this is not the last helping of us you get. They do. They always travel.
Travellers are always travelling
They
places.
do.
That's the thing about
Always travelling. Not the weekend podcast, which is our separate podcast from this show. Will be available on Wednesday. So that'll be our last word on 2010.
What about the creepy Christmas elf? I'm rather warming to him now.
The creepy Christmas elf. I'm working on the video this afternoon. It's not gonna
I
be-
hope you don't get to the second verse then.
No, well, it won't be shown.
It
on,
upset me a bit.
Won't be shown on X Factor with me and Christina Aguilera. She seems to have become some sort of northern barmaid figure. Anyway, Lucio's on next, and he's waiting outside now, looking like a carol singer who can't think of what to sing. He's just standing outside our big window.
He's sporting a fingerless.
Is it?
I beg
Yeah.
your pardon?
Oh, he is, yeah,
Yeah.
in a sort of fabulous, trendy Albert Steptoe kind of a way. So Lucio is next. And can I say, as we draw, this is our last live show of the year, how much I love our listeners. I feel that we've sorted out now the chaff. We've done a fabulous edit, and the people who listen to this show and text us every week are so brilliant and funny and interesting. And thank you for loving the show, and you've made it very, very marvellous. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Listen to the best ofs; it'll jog your memory. But we love you very, very, very much. And good day to you.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Treebor Soft Mints, bringing a softer, mintier feel to your Saturday morning.
Absolute Radio.